Good morning, happy Thursday. I had the cutest conversation this morning with a mom who has had it with moping, pouting, and sulking with her kids and her husband too. And she needed to vent. So that's what the topic is today: moping, pouting, and sulking, and what to do about it. And I'm sorry about the glare. It is a very bright day here at the lake. Arizona, lots of sunshine, so pardon the glare. We've all seen it. We've all experienced the moping, the pouting, the sulking. From the time they're toddlers to the time they're teens, this is what happens. And honestly, we've probably all been guilty of doing it ourselves. But I just have a couple of suggestions what to do about it. We have all seen kids. They don't get their way. They're mad. You get the tantrum. You get the door slamming, the screaming, the yelling, the stomping, the rolling in the floor, and the screaming. You get the spouse and or significant other who won't talk to you. You just get the silent treatment. They may not pick up. They may not answer texts. They may just sit and ignore you. Okay. In the first place, that's manipulative. It's passive-aggressive behavior. Use your words. If you can talk, use your words. Now, I'm going to tell you what I did when my son was growing up. My son is now 45. He'll be 45 in May. And my granddaughter is 12. And he and his wife are brilliant parents. And I think they probably have incorporated some of these tools as well, because it worked so well when he was growing up. And I started this, he must have been about 3 or 4 years old when he talked early. Imagine that, as much as I talk. And so I taught him to be articulate, to be calm. If he's upset, and we had our moments, trust me, there were times he slammed a few doors, and I would follow him in and tell him, we don't do that. We don't act out. You know that. You are a very bright, articulate person. Now, this is when he's 3 and 4. You're very smart. You don't need to act like this. Use your words and tell me what you're thinking and feeling. Because in our house, he had the right, if he was wanting to go to somebody's house and for a sleepover or something, and we had other plans, and I said, no, you can't do that. Well, you get the usual tantrum and the pouting and the sulking and the moping and all that. So use your words. Convince me I'm wrong when I say no, because we have other plans. So he would have to calm down, use his words calmly, and state his case. Now, for a 3 and 4 year old, that can be very entertaining, but they can do it. Give them your full attention. Don't laugh at them. Take them seriously and tell them, whatever you tell me, I'm going to take that into consideration. I'm going to think about that. Because if you're right, I'm willing to keep that in mind. That makes them feel heard. That makes them feel acknowledged. That's important. So he would plead his case, why he really needed to go over and be with his friends and have a sleepover, and he was the only one in class that wasn't going to get to be there, and the usual things that you hear. And I said, okay, I've heard everything that you said, and you did a really good job telling me this. I really appreciate how well you stated your case. Well, he's beaming at that point, because in the first place he thought he won. And, I would explain, we have other plans. However, here's what I am willing to do. Next weekend, you can have everybody over here, or we'll go to Chuck E. Cheese tomorrow, or something like that. Negotiate and compromise. Teach your child the art of explaining their case without emotion, and the art of negotiating and compromise. It will make your life so much easier. And keep in mind and explain to them, you do have veto power, and that is called playing the mom card or the dad card or the parent card. So you do have veto power. Keep that in mind. When they start school, they get a bad mark. And they come home and they're mad because, they got a C instead of an A, and the teacher's mean, and on and on and on. Did you know the material? Well, yeah. Did you understand all of that? And if they have the test with them, go over it with them. If they don't know the material, ask them, did the teacher explain the material? Now, this is elementary school. Did they explain this? Well, yeah. Did you understand? If they say no, say, okay, then this is on you, because you have to explain to the teacher. You have to go to them and say, I don't understand. Can you explain it to me again? Don't be embarrassed about that, because maybe she just used the wrong words. Everybody learns differently, but it's your job to go to the teacher and say, I need help. There's nothing in the world wrong with that. That doesn't mean you're stupid, you're not paying attention. That means you want to learn, and they're going to really appreciate that. That does not mean she's going to give you a new test. However, what you can do is go to her and say, I know I did bad on the test. Can you help me, understand the material better, or go over it again? Get a tutor, whatever it takes. And can I do something to earn extra credit? Now, this is when my son was in elementary school. Can I do a book report? Can I do something? It's teaching them to take responsibility for their grades. It's up to them to know the material. It's up to the teacher to teach it. It's up to the student to understand. If they don't understand, they need to let the teacher know. This worked out really well throughout his life, because he would accept responsibility. He didn't know the material. When he was in, his junior year in high school, he was really struggling with, I don't know if it was calculus or something. He was struggling. Fine. The teacher he went to the teacher and said, I'm really struggling. She gave him the name of a tutor that happened to be a college professor, lived like 2 blocks away. He did great. But he went to her and told her, I need help. He accepted her suggestion of seeing a tutor. That's huge. So teach your child the art of stating their case clearly and articulately without emotion. You don't want the tears. And how to negotiate and compromise. It will make a world of difference. And when you go to parent-teacher meetings, let the teacher know this is what you're doing. This is how you operate in your household. That, you're teaching them to take responsibility, to negotiate, to come and say, can I do extra credit to bring my grade up? And to compromise. Well, if you can't retake a test because you were out sick and you missed the test, and she doesn't think it's fair for you to take the test when everybody else already took it, okay, that's fine. Can I do extra credit? This has done a world of good. In my child's life, he's not a child now, he's 45. But it's a very good skill to teach your kids. When it comes to an adult who is pouting and sulking, go to them and say, use your words. Tell me what you're thinking and feeling, and let's talk about this. Do not be passive aggressive. Use your words. If I'm wrong, I will admit I'm wrong. If I'm being unreasonable, I will be the first to admit I am being unreasonable. But you have to use your words calmly, and we have to discuss this. It's just a suggestion, not telling you what to do, but it works for me.